Do you really know who your target market is? One of the biggest mistakes we can make as a new business is targeting the wrong audience. What's up, icons? It's the iconic fashion figure back with a new video. And as you can see, I'm going to be talking about target market and figuring out if you're targeting the right customer and tips on how to find the right target audience. So as I mentioned, there's a lot of businesses out there that tend to make the mistake, including me, I've done it before, where we target the wrong audience. We think our customer is one person and really it turns out our customer is someone else. So to help you save some of you guys that headache, I'm going to go through talking about target market and how you can find your right target market. Some of you may think that you've already found your correct target market, and you may be right. But for those of you that may be struggling with getting sales, maybe you're getting the traffic but you're not getting any sales out of it, one of the issues you may be having is that it's the wrong audience. They're coming to your website but then realizing the product that you're offering is really not for them. Or some of you may have the right audience but you just don't know how to find them to get them to your website. So let's talk about all of that. And the first thing I can say for those of you that aren't sure if you have the right audience or if you haven't even figured out who your target market is to check with your competitors. If you already know what type of product you'll be selling, it'll be easier for you to check your competitors, see who's selling similar product, and then look at their customer base, see who's buying from them. That'll be your target market. If you are already in business and you already have customers or you're already getting traffic, stalk your current customers. Find out everything and anything you can find out about them. Go on their social media and check and see what their interests are like. See what their personality is like. See what brands that they're wearing or the companies that they're currently shopping with. Look into what they're doing in their free time and what type of lifestyle they're living. You'll want to dig deep in all your customers that are currently shopping with you now, because then you'll know who else to target for additional sales. You want to get people like them because if they're already buying from you, that is your target market. For those of you that are still trying to figure out your market, maybe you're not in business yet, or you could already be in business and you're still just trying to figure it out, you'll want to understand the difference between demographics and psychographics. Demographics focuses mainly on like their age, their gender, their location, like where they're from, where they live, their income, their education, their occupation, things like that. Those are specific details which most people, when you ask them who's their target market, they'll usually just tell you like the age and gender. Like a woman between the ages of 25 and 35 is usually what people will tell you. But you want to dig even further and do more research. Figure out their income and their type of job, their education, because that'll make a difference in what you're selling, the price point you're selling at. But to go deeper into your customer is not just about their age and their gender. You also want to know the psychographic side of it. So their interests and their hobbies, what their personality is like, their lifestyle. Just what I was talking about before when I told you go stalk your customers and go on their social media and see what they're like, see what they're interested in, their lifestyle. You want to know those things about your customer because it makes it easier for you to pinpoint the right person. For instance, if you're selling more like club wear, going out, you are most likely targeting a younger age or maybe even college students. You want to focus on people that are very outgoing, that are always out and about. You have to look in to see what their lifestyle is like. Those people may also not spend too much money because if they're going out and they're spending money and buying drinks and things like that, they may not be spending as much on their clothing. Or you may have a customer that goes to all these high-end places, so they want to look the part and they're spending a lot of money. So find out where exactly they're going out to. Don't just say you sell clubwear because there's different audiences for that as well. And as you're determining your audience, whether you're new or currently in business, you'll want to ask yourself these 5 questions. Did I pick my target audience just because I'm trying to sell to myself? So basically that means, are you making yourself your target audience? Are you selling the items you're selling just because it's something you would want and something you would buy? A lot of people tend to do that, which is always recommended, not to only buy what you like because you want to buy what's going to sell. But of course, if you find that there is an audience out there and you fit into that audience, that is no problem. Just make sure you also go target more people like you and find out what it is about you that makes you the target audience. The next question you want to ask yourself is, my audience big enough for me to run a profitable business? You don't want to target an audience of like 10 people. Let's say you're targeting college students. Don't ask me why I keep talking about college students, but that's the thing that's in the top of my head right now. You're targeting these college students that are interested in this one club, and this club only has 10 members. You don't want to make that your target audience, because when they leave that club, what next? Of course, if they continue the club, then yeah, you can continue a business, but can you run a profitable business off of just these 10 people? You want to make sure your audience is big enough, but you don't want to make your target audience too broad where you don't know exactly who you're targeting, if that makes sense. The next question you'll want to ask yourself is, my product beneficial for my customers? This kind of goes back to the first question, like if you're selling to yourself. You may be buying items that you're interested in, so you say, okay, I'm going to target this group of people, but does this group of people want that same product that you're interested in? Or let's say it's not even about you. Let's exclude you from the scenario altogether, and you're targeting this group of people. What is it with this product that this group of people really needs? Is it something they're really going to buy? And then for the last question, you'll want to ask yourself, how can I reach my audience? Think about the type of customer you have, go back to those demographics and psychographics and figure out creative ways you can reach this audience. If we're still talking about the college students, they're more into social media, they're more into technology, so by text messages is probably an easier way to reach a college student versus a middle-aged group that may still be into emails. So you may focus more on text messages for college, middle age, or focus on emails because college students probably only checking their email for schoolwork. Or again, if you're targeting an older group, not even middle age, but older, they may not be into social media as much, so why put so much time and energy into social media trying to get to these people if they're not really on there? You'll want to find ways to target them. Go to the events that your group may attend and the different places they may visit. You want to be in that same environment as them so you can get to them. Think like your target audience. Another way to help you determine your target audience is by looking at your analytics. If you already have social media set up for your business, if you already have a website set up for your business, look at those analytics. Instagram on their insights will tell you the customer's gender, their age range, where they're located. It'll give you that information based off who's visiting your Instagram the most. If you have a website, set up Google Analytics and look at the same thing. It'll tell you the same information, and Google goes deep into figuring out who's been on your website. So you'll want to look at that stuff because it'll help you target your audience, especially for those of you that are already in business and trying to figure out why you're not making the money you want to make. Look at that and compare what you originally planned to target. Look at your original target audience that you said you were going to target and compare it to the Google Analytics. Does that match up? Is it the same age range? Is it the same gender? Is it from the same locations that you've been targeting? Are they using the same devices you thought they would use, like mobile or an app or on a website? Look deep into all of that and see if it matches up. If it does not match up, you know you need to fix your target audience or either fix your product to fit the target audience you're trying to reach. If it does match up, you know you're doing something right, and we need to look into next steps to get the sales that you're trying to achieve. And then just for the last thing I want to mention in this video, any of you that are having a hard time really trying to understand your customer, even in the beginning, if you haven't even started business yet and you're still just trying to figure out that target audience and learning more about them, start doing surveys to find out about them. You can conduct these surveys even when you're in business by doing like an annual survey. You can do quarterly, you could do it a couple of times out of the year, whatever works for you. Just do surveys to find out the information you want to know about your customers. Or it can just be surveys to find out feedback of how they feel about your product, how they feel about how your business is. Whatever information is you want to know, do a survey, offer an incentive so people can actually be encouraged to complete it, and that'll give you all the information you need to know. Get creative with your business. Definitely know who you are targeting and make sure that is the audience you are reaching, because without that target audience or without reaching the right customer, it is hard to make the profit that you're trying to make. Thank you for watching.